Time is a flat circle, and the MLB offseason seemingly is moving at breakneck speed after being a slug for the first month. The winter meetings are happening right now, and last night was a whirlwind of emotions with the Jared Kelenic trade going down to the Braves, and right now, I don't really know what to say, what to make, what to do, what to talk about. So there's 3 quotes that have happened on Monday, December 4th, from the winter meetings, from people in Mariners media, part of the coaching staff, and part of the front office. We're going to look at 3 quotes, 3, conversations, and kind of what my opinions are about them. The first comes from Ryan Divish on Foul Territory, talking about money being a problem with the Mariners, potentially with how they want to operate with cost, essentially what their payroll and how much they're willing to spend will look like, and talking about players that are going to get expensive in arbitration because, well, they've been good players, so they're going to start, increasing their bag essentially in arbitration. Those 3 players that he names are Logan Gilbert, Cal Raleigh, and George Kirby. Gilbert and Raleigh are the subjects of this conversation, though. Divish goes on to say basically that he wouldn't be surprised if they're not here next, in the coming years once they reach the 3rd and 4th year of arbitration, because they're going to get too expensive. And the likelihood of them re-signing is not very high in Divish's opinion. Now, this is obviously him speculating. He has I don't believe there's any concrete evidence, whatever. It is just a track record with the Mariners spending and what that means and what guys making decent amounts of money in arbitration will look like. Logan Gilbert is due, I think, around $4 million in arbitration this year. They've already done that with the arbitration hearings. And obviously Cal will start to earn a decent amount of money as well if he's continuously one of the best catchers in the MLB. That sucks. I don't want to imagine a world where we don't have Gilbert and Cal. Those guys feel like Mariners for life, for as long as at least we're competitive, if that makes sense. Gilbert, I think, is a guy that is a very easy extend candidate, but they've already had that conversation a while ago, and it didn't go very well the first time. Obviously, that was before Gilbert has turned himself into a bona fide everyday, 32, 33 starts a year kind of guy. And Cal, he's a Scott Boras client. The comments at the end of the year, how front office has seemingly handled that, I wouldn't bet on Cal wanting to re-sign so long as the front office remains the same. Obviously, there's still time for that to change, but to me, it seems like they're pretty safe right now. But let me know what you guys think about that comment from Divish and whether or not you think Cal and Gilbert have a long-term future here with Seattle beyond arbitration, because I'm genuinely curious what other people are thinking about these conversations that are happening during the offseason. On to the second comment here. It comes from Scott Servais, doing some, interview media work at the MLB winter meetings, and he was asked a question from the previously talked about Ryan Divish about just what's going on, and the quote that I want to take a look at: "We do have a young team. That is exciting. We do want to take the next step to win, and again, we're trying to do the best with the cards that we've been dealt," I guess is the best way to say it. It's a very vague answer in regards to the offseason and what it means for the player base and the personnel on the Mariners team right now. The big, part that you want to look at there is we're trying to do the best with the cards that we've been dealt. What on earth does that mean as far as what we can expect for the offseason going forward? Because the Mariners have cleared up a ton of cap space, maybe not cap space, just payroll in general, because there isn't a cap in the MLB, but payroll in general, money to spend, that if the ownership or the front office have operating costs and margins that they need to stay within, they cleared up that space to go out and make some moves. But they're doing the best with the cards that they've been dealt. Seems like those moves might not be as glorious and as exciting as we might think. Last year, obviously, the AJ Pollock with being a platoon partner with Jared Kelenic and signing Tommy La Stella for a month before someone is ready to actually become an everyday DH, or Cooper Hump. Like, there's so many nothing moves from last offseason that's the hand that they were dealt right at the beginning of 2023. What is that going to look like in 2024? And it's a very vague answer from Scott, and I think it's kind of candid. I think there is truth in how he's feeling about how the front office has handled this so far, but he can't really say a whole lot because, well, that's job security at its finest. I think he's definitely towing the line there in terms of what he can and cannot say. And if nothing really comes out of this offseason beyond, signing one player and then trading something else for spots to fill out the rest of the lineup because we've got a need for 2 outfielders, probably one more infielder, either at third or second, to allow Urias and Rojas to not have to be everyday players, and a DH because right now you're looking at Dom Canzone and Cade Marlowe and Taylor Trammell and even maybe like Ryan Bliss seeing a ton of major league action when you probably don't want that if you're going to be a team that's in a competitive window. So let me know what you guys think about Scott's quote there. If it's nothing and we're reading too much into it, but I think there's a lot of nuance and a lot of discussion to be had with a lot of speculation, but always got to take it with a grain of salt. And the final one that dropped right as soon as I was about to hit record on this, Jerry Dipoto. The man, the myth, the legend. 13 minutes ago, as of recording, on the chances the Mariners would trade one of their starting pitchers. Quote, I'd say it's less likely now than it was 24 hours ago. How on earth are you going to acquire the necessary bats to improve the lineup if one, we're not willing to spend a ton? Jerry has said that payroll will be higher in 2024 than it was in 2023. They've probably got like 30-ish to 40-ish million to spend then, because we're sending 4.5 back to the Braves in the Marco deal, and Kalanick, whatever. So you're looking probably like $35 to $40 million to fill 4 spots, $10 million a pop for these guys. And you want them to be major league everyday guys that are going to go out there and win you baseball games. I refuse to believe that we will not be trading a pitcher. It feels like a troll. It feels like he is, not I want to say being deceitful for any necessary reason, but maybe to not be as direct with media or direct with, the fans of the team going on Twitter and seeing this and be like, what on earth are we doing this offseason then? Because if you've got a surplus of pitching, one, you can't really utilize all of them because you can only throw so many guys. You've got Castillo, Kirby, Gilbert, Miller, Wu, Hancock, and then I guess that's 6. Ray post All-Star break. 7. And then if I'm at a loss. I understand that, and that could be even like if we sign somebody like in the free agent class, because we talk about the Blake Snell hometown discount. We haven't been ruled out of Yamamoto yet for whatever reason. If you sign one of those guys, you absolutely have to trade someone from that pitching staff because it's going to be crowded. And you have no other means to go out and acquire bats if you, one, sign pitching, use the money there, and you're not going to trade anybody. It doesn't make sense. I don't understand. I felt last night more confused about I had never been more confused about a Mariners offseason once the Kalanick trade dropped. I am so unbelievably lost with where the direction of this offseason is going for the Seattle Mariners as it stands right now. So let me know what you guys think about these comments, what it means, if it's anything, if it's nothing, and if by the time you guys are seeing this, we've already signed somebody, great, because that means all this likely was nothing. But hopefully you guys enjoyed a little bit of speculative talk here, and go Mariners.